Hello, today I'm going to talk about what a typical week looks like for me. Maybe not too typical. So context is I am nearing the end of the semester, so ramping up towards finals week, finishing up all those last assignments to turn in, and also being a mom, making some money so that I can provide for my family. Um, I have a general kind of flow schedule to my week. Mondays, because I do gig work, Mondays are a good day for shopping. I do Shipt or Instacart. So Mondays are typically a heavy work day, and I plan to spend the full day, depending on what you consider a full day, morning until about 3 or 4, sometimes 5, out doing gig work. And so I'll pack my lunch, take it with me, and go. Sometimes I'll bring a book or a notebook so I can maybe write if there's a break. Typically on Mondays, I'm just working back to back and grabbing lunch while I'm driving to and from a store or to and from a delivery. So Mondays can be pretty hectic. Then I come home and it's time to see how the kids are doing, make sure they've gotten their homework done, get them settled with a snack and an activity, and then I get to work on my own studies. And then I will take a break and we'll eat some dinner. We like to eat dinner and watch a show together. So we'll watch a different show, a series, and then we'll move on to the next one. Right now we're watching one, what is it called? I'll have to get the name and maybe put it in the description. But it's set in, I don't even know what country, in South America. So it was filmed in, I believe, Spanish. So, that it's translated. But it's kind of interesting. My youngest is 10, so we're watching shows that are for younger ages, but they typically like live action shows. And as we're watching, we'll talk about people's behavior, character things that they're doing. Like, is this character being manipulative? What are they trying to get out of the other one? This one's got a little bit of a mystery to it, so it's kind of fun to kind of guess what this girl's trying to find out, different things like that. So, we're spending time together. We're also, it's kind of fun. We like to critique the show, the characters. Like I said, talk about behavior and things that people are doing. I think as a parent, it's a good time to, like, a teaching moment. And I don't intentionally try to make everything about a teaching moment or whatever, but we really like to kind of people watch as we're watching these shows and talk about different character traits and like look at how this person manipulated the other person, or this is manipulative, that's a guilt trip. They like to pick up on those things, so that's kind of fun. And then after we do that, we might do some chores, and then I go back to studying. My kids are allowed to watch TV at 7 p.m., so they'll generally be watching a movie or a show or something, and then I'll go back to my studies. And then they go to bed pretty early because I'm big on making sure they get enough sleep. So I'll get them off to bed. I'll finish up whatever I was working on, and then I also try to get to bed early. For me, getting to bed early can be difficult because I love to read in bed, so I have to give myself a limit and go to sleep. And then we start the next day. Tuesdays, right now I'm in a coaching barter circle, trauma coaches barter circle, and basically what it is that I act as a client for a coach to practice on, and then I have a client that I practice on, so I get to spend an hour coaching. So I have both of those appointments scheduled on Tuesdays. So I spend my time with my coach, and then after lunch I coach someone else. And today is a Tuesday, and I am planning to also include doing some video, making videos during this time. And then Tuesdays is a heavier study day since I typically spend the whole day at home, which is a nice break after putting in a long day on Monday. Then I can recover physically and get caught up on my school for the week, hopefully get ahead for the week. So that's what I'm doing today. And then Wednesday is an okay day to shop, so I will head out and typically spend most of the day on Wednesday out working. I pack a lunch and I'm just gone for the day. And then I usually get home around 3 or 4, depending on how the shopping is going. If it's not going well, I'll come home earlier and spend some time studying and maybe catching up on things at home. Also on Tuesdays, I forgot to mention this, I do things like make my kombucha for the week. It's a good day to be, since I'm home all day, I can go ahead and brew that tea in the morning and have my batch all finished up by the afternoon. So I do little things at home that need to be done, extra chores or whatever. And it's kind of nice to spend that extra time on my home, making it beautiful and getting little things caught up. So back to Wednesday, it's a heavier shopping day, and then I will come home and pretty much the same routine as Monday. Get the kids on their homework, snacks, make sure that they aren't just sitting there watching TV or on devices, and maybe send them out to play. And then I study, and then we have our meal together, and then more study time for me. Thursdays, Thursdays aren't as great to shop, but I will usually head out depending on how much I have left to make for the week. I might go out and do a few hours of work, and then it's kind of more like a half work, half study day on Thursday, unless I'm really reaching for a higher monetary goal that week. Then I'll spend more time working. And then Fridays is similar to Monday. It's going to be a heavier work day because there's more orders. So I will go out and spend the day doing that. If my kids are going to their dad's for the weekend, I will be home by 3 when they get home from school. That way we can have that time together. And I like to kind of reset the house for the weekend on a Friday, especially if they're going to be gone. So we'll do things like make sure everything's picked up, vacuum, sweep, mop, and just get caught up on our chores, change sheets, that sort of thing. And then I head off to take them to their dad's. It's about a 45-minute drive on a Friday because of traffic. And I have to meet him at 6, so we typically leave around 5:15, and then I might get home around 7 or a little bit later. I like to go ahead and do my shopping for the week on Friday night, since the night's just kind of over because of that 6 o'clock meeting time. So I'll run by the store, pick up groceries and whatever, and then relax and enjoy my evening. And then Saturday will be, I might work, might do errands, might get caught up on studying. And then Sunday is a more relaxing day. I typically go to church or watch a sermon online, and then I might run an errand or two. If I'm out at church, I usually plan to do an errand after church, and then I'll come home and have a lunch that I enjoy, maybe watch a movie, and just finish up the week and prep for the next week. I do my weekly planning then. So I have a planner for school and a planner for my day-to-day life, and I will make sure I have all of my schoolwork scheduled in on Sunday for the next week. Like, what are my due dates? What do I need to get done each day so that I can meet those goals? And then I'll plan in any appointments or other things I need to do during the week into my planner. And then also I put the important things in my phone, because when I'm working, I always have my phone so I can double check that I'm staying on track for the week and what I need to get done each day. And then I kind of relax the rest of the afternoon, do some more studying, pick up the kids at 6, and then come home. And after they've had a weekend away, they just kind of want to like vegetate and get back into the flow of being at my apartment again. So we just have a really chill Sunday. The weekends that they're with me, I will usually try to run errands on Thursday or even Friday before I'm done working. That way I don't have to go shopping. And then we'll plan to do something out of the house on Saturday. If it's nice, we could go to the park. Sometimes we'll go shopping if they need clothes or they just want to spend some money. We'll go to Walmart or Target or whatever. Sometimes we'll do coffee in a bookstore. That's a favorite thing they like to do. Since I've been in school this semester, I've been kind of lame, kind of boring. So we need to step that up. We're gonna plan to do something this weekend. I'm not sure what. We also like to do a movie night here and there. We did that last weekend they were here. We had I think it was a movie night Friday night. That was fun. They like to do have lots of snacks and treats for the movie, so we did that. And then Sunday we'll go to church and just have like a calmer, relaxing weekend. During the school year, I've noticed they like to kind of just hang out at home more because they're gone so much during the week, and they just need to kind of relax from being at school and around people all the time. They do like to go to the park, get outside, and that's something we try to focus on. One year we went to all the waterfalls that were within like 30 miles of us, and that was a lot of fun. We need to do that again. So we like to go on hikes and just get out and about. And one year we also did like all the parks nearby because that was a year they really loved going to parks. So we visited all the parks we could find and try to find, new favorites. And so that was, that was kind of fun. It really depends on their ages. My youngest two are 13 and 10, and they're my little buddies. We like to go hang out, do things together. And I'm really trying to enjoy this phase because as they get older, kids, for me, in my experience, typically are like, I don't want to hang out with you, Mom. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to be in my room. So I'm trying to really soak in this time when they're willing to go do things and explore the world and have fun together. Trying to think what else we do. We pretty much have, a kind of even schedule throughout the week, just because like right now I'm taking 4 classes. So that takes a lot of time to get all of my assignments and studying done. One thing we've been doing together lately, my youngest and I started this drawing course and then she wanted to join me. So we're supposed to do it every day, but that's not always happening. So we try to get a couple lessons in a week, and it only takes like 20 minutes, but it's just making the time to do that. So we do that together, and we've also lately been into painting with watercolor paints, and really that's just like getting a sturdy coloring book and just painting. And sometimes we'll do that while we're watching a movie or a show, or we can sit at the table and watch something on the laptop, and then we can work on our paintings. And I find that super relaxing. It's very calming. So we've been enjoying doing that. Usually I read aloud to them at night. I've been out of practice because, as you could tell from my voice, I've been sick, so I haven't been reading. But right now we're reading James and the Giant Peach. They're really enjoying that book. I read it when I was in elementary school, but I have forgotten so much of the story. So I'm pretty surprised by some of it. I was like, wow, I don't remember this happening. And just like when the peach goes rolling down the hill and squishes the aunts, I was like, wow, that's kind of violent for a children's book. So some things that I don't remember reading when I was a kid, like that didn't stick with me. And as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, So it's kind of funny. I like revisiting some of my favorite books from when I was younger by reading them aloud to my children. We could do a video about that if anyone's interested on my favorite read alouds. This is the first book we've read by this author. I typically read a lot of more classic books like Winnie the Pooh. I love reading Winnie the Pooh out loud and things like that. We read all the Peter Rabbit books, by that author, Beatrix Potter books. Those are great. So anyways, I'm a book nerd. I love books, and my goal in life is to make my kids book nerds also. And so at bedtime, my girls typically I'll read to them. We might do devotion. We need to get back to that. During Advent, we did a devotion every night, and then they got a piece of chocolate before bed with the devotion. So I want to get back into that habit because I think it's just a really nice ending to the day. And when they go to bed, this is just something they do on their own. They started doing a few years ago. I don't know, before they could read, they would watch me read my Bible and then write in a journal. So they do the same thing. So that's something they do every night before bed. And this morning before they went to school, I introduced them to keeping a gratitude journal as part of their journaling at night. My 10-year-old she can be a little anxious, and they have testing this week. And she told me last night she wrote about that in her journal. And then I told her you could also keep a gratitude journal and just write down 3 things that you're thankful for. So I'm interested to see if they try that and what they think of it. I think as a mom, it's a lot of fun to share the things that help me with my daughters and just to see what they pick up from me. It's fun and also kind of scary to see how they do some of the things I do. I'm glad when they do things like reading their Bible and journaling, but not so happy when they do things that I would rather not do myself. So, as a mom, that there's some accountability by watching my children follow in my footsteps. But for the most part, it's very rewarding to be a mom. Since I started going to school and I was invited to join the Honor Society, and then I made the Dean's List. My children have also been on the honor roll, and I go and attend their ceremony and pick them up because they get out of school early that day. So we make not a huge deal about it because I don't want my children to feel like they have to perform or anything. But we definitely acknowledge it. Their certificates are up on the wall, framed on the wall, and so is mine. So I think we just work towards doing our best, being kind, and, living as well as we can. And I think it's just really nice to be in school while they're in school and to really show them by my example of how important education is and, always learning and growing as a person. So that's pretty much my what my week looks like. I'm sure there's lots of other things in there. There's random errands that happen here and there. Not a lot of connection with other people besides my coaching. And then, I shop at the same stores all the time. So chatting with the cashiers there that I see often. And then the rest of it is just my family, like life with my family. I do meet with friends occasionally as well. And that's just something that's fallen out recently because we've all been in the middle of like a heavy season. So we intend to get back to our weekly meetings and hangouts to support each other as single moms and those who've gone through divorce and are recovering from all of that. Anyway, so that's like I already said, my basic week. And if you have any questions or wonder how things work, I don't mind answering that. Or if there's something else you'd like me to talk about next time, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you feel led. Have a blessed week. Bye.